How's it, Kenny? How are you?
Hi, how's weird? You guys are...
Where's my coffee?
Oh, Pastor Gav. You know what? Vusi is making the coffee. It's gonna get you now.
Yeah, bro.
I got water though from Grounded. It was amazing.
Yeah, but that doesn't help me.
Yeah. You know.
Now, the price that Kenny has to get counseling from me is coffee. He's lucky.
We've never charged anyone, but
No, I charge.
you've now upped your fees.
Yeah.
I've had my fees to a Grounded coffee.
Okay.
Grounded.
You know, I saw them.
Best
I saw
coffee in
them
the
modeling
universe.
last week. So I thought if I come with my own store merch, you know,
Very
you can
good.
put a word for me.
There's
and-
also
Very
got
good,
store
Kenny. You'll have to
Also got
stand
store
and do
merch.
the phone pose.
Hell up. I've also got store merch.
we should join them, Pastor Gav. You know, it's just.
Is
Yeah,
this
no.
a social, or did you need to speak to us?
You know. Oh no, I need to speak to you.
Okay, no, just checking, because, you know, we've both got to leave in a few minutes. So
We?
you can hail up and Jesus
are we
in
going on a
Chinese
date?
or... Yes.
Sorry, bro. Cheers.
What's up?
So, basically a issue I had, you know, growing up without a father is the whole thing of finding proper role models. You know, how do you know somebody is a good role model? Because, you know, something as I've gotten older, I've learned it's not just about the money they make. You know, you think if they're a wealthy person, they're a good role model. I've come to see that there is more that makes up a good role model, somebody that you can look at and be like, I'd like to structure myself around what they do.
Kenny, growing up without a dad's not easy. How was that for you?
It wasn't easy at all. I find myself lucky, and I actually thank God a lot, because number one, the church, you know, with people like Pastor Gav, the impact he had on my uncle, and then also the impact my uncle had on my brother, and then my brother's impact on me, and now my direct.
I'm interrupting you. A beautiful picture of generations and literally what God wants to do.
Yeah.
And here's your answer.
Yeah.
I didn't have a role model, but look how God weaved his love into your abandoned story,
Yeah.
so that you wouldn't turn out the way perhaps what happened to you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and tonight I had a role and I became a model.
He did really have a role.
I thought that was good.
It was very good. It was very,
And you didn't deserve
was
that
very-
one.
it was
Because I never
very-
got my damn coffee.
It was very profound. You know, everything you say
Everyone
is
must go tweet that and Instagram
very
that up.
profound. Yeah.
Because it's the
Yeah.
most profound thing that's been said in any church anywhere in the world this
Yeah.
year.
It was so profound that my profound statement's gone. That's how good it was. I had one.
Sorry, Pastor
It
Vic.
was good, but that one hacked it, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
know
but
what, Kenny? It's
you know,
not...
If you can't remember it, just model it.
There you go. Kenny, it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's a form of rejection. It's not just rejection.
Yeah.
It forms a wound very deep on the inside of you. And so this is what I love about Encounter. You learn how to forgive something that's actually unforgivable, because it's devastated your whole childhood. It's devastated for many people because they don't actually know how to apply the blood to get that wound healed.
Yeah.
And they go through their adulthood so wounded, they actually repeat the mistake. I've literally sat with
Often it's worse.
men.
It's often
It's
worse.
often worse. I've sat with guys who've hated their fathers because of what they've done, and said to them, if you don't allow God to heal this and forgive and let that wound be healed, you will become your father. I have had those guys look at me like I'm a demon, their hatred to that statement. And it's not a statement to hurt them. It's actually a statement that's saying to them, if you don't deal with this the biblical way, you will become that. And many times we've seen that on a worse degree. And, you know, what you said was very profound, that your uncle and then your brother and now you. And, you know, what I want to say to you is one day you're going to get married. Never do that to your children. Be that father that you didn't have because of the father you do have in your life. And that father has brought role models into your life.
Yeah.
And you we were meeting with Shane and B before this, and they asked us about their sons. And
Yeah.
we said, get them into a position of leadership where they minister to other people. And that's exactly what you're doing. But when you're doing the work of God, it ministers to you, and it's a constant healing balm in your life. The devil wants to keep bringing you back to that place of abandonment, rejection, deep wound. But you've got to forgive. And it's the unforgivable, because God never created that your father would walk out on you. Family is God's idea.
Yeah.
But he walked out on you. And as far as I know today, your relationship with him is restored.
Yes.
See, that's a God thing. But it would possibly not be like that if you never forgave him and you never allowed God to heal those deep wounds. I'm sure you got lots to add.
I want you to think also about the picture of the church.
Yeah.
I still want my coffee.
Eish, Pastor Gav, I'm not
Okay.
ask Busi.
But obviously, if you take your uncle,
Yeah.
he had a lot of friends. And one of the things we've always talked about, in fact, we've been complained about as being the marriage church. We've been complained about as being too interfering in people's relationships. And the thing is that it's not actually true. The people who worked with us wanted to. Obviously, we teach about how to do a relationship. And your uncle had done it wrong before. And he had made mistakes and gotten hurt. And then when him and Tandil started, we saw some electricity. We thought we could have taken some of that electricity and taken it to the power station for Eskom to stop the load shedding, because there was quite a bit of it. And I know Pastor Vicky asked Tandil, and she denied it. She lied. Said, never,
Tandil
Patrick.
lied?
She lied.
She
Wow.
lied.
I had to take that lie to an encounter.
Yes. How many kids later?
You know?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But anyway.
In marriage.
Yes, in marriage.
You know that, you were at the weddings.
But when Patrick wanted to date Tandil, he comes in my office. It was on a Friday. I'm working. I was actually busy. And he closes the door. And I thought, Patrick never comes in my office and closes the door. And then he sat down. He said, Pastor, I need to speak to you. I said, what? So I'm expecting bad news. He said, I want to make Tandil my woman. Exactly like that. So I went, phew. Then I acted all strict. No, but, and then basically they would meet with us up until the time I got married. I don't know how long, can't remember, it was like regularly, maybe at least once a month. And then
They were accountable. They
Yeah.
wanted to be accountable. They wanted
Yeah.
to get things right.
Yes.
They wanted the blessing of God over their marriage and
Yeah.
future.
And also as a result of the fact that they listened, they weren't dating for much more than a year when they got married.
And they were honoring.
They honored us.
They were honoring as a result.
But in honoring us, they actually honored themselves.
It's a
So
family trait.
if you go, there were quite a lot of other relationships that started in the church at the same time, which I think was about 2011, that they actually started becoming an item, and they got married end of 2012. There was quite a lot of other relationships that started at the same time, who didn't want to come to the office, and their pastors are too controlling. Well, none of them are together today.
Yeah.
Okay, none of them are together. And many times you end up in a meeting with the people because there's blood all over the carpet and they're tearing each other to shreds, and one of them is dumping them for someone else, and all sorts of terrible stories. But we always used to say, you see the relationship starts, and within 3 to 6 months, they'll be fighting in the car park. That's very short to be fighting, when you're dating. We never fought that much, like 3 to 6 months, 3 to 6 months of marriage maybe, but not dating. And the thing I wanted to read to you, though, specifically about the father, and Patrick obviously was a model to your brother. Your brother was a model to you. And so, so I'm what sort of like your great-grandfather.
I'm not your great-grandmother.
All right. But the picture of the church, and you know what, many people think we're controlling, but if people have proper parents, I mean, can you see your uncle just letting any guy come and do anything with Myra?
No.
Will she have a secret?
Kill them.
Yeah, will she have a secret at Myra?
To stay a secret.
That guy will have many secret teeth after that. They'll be missing. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure. And the thing is, if a girl has a father, you don't just come mess with that girl. In fact, I'll tell any guy that comes, wait till you have a daughter. You know, you come and you say this and this and that. Well, wait till you have a daughter. Because you know she's the one who comes home with a baby. You know what I'm saying? If something goes wrong. But what I wanted to say, that is a picture of the church. Fathers are strict. Okay, I grew up, I got many outings from my father. And so what God says in, sorry, I just want to check here.
I'll tell you this, and this is not a diss. It's really not an embarrassment. It's a testimony for the guys that are not there, they're there. But Gavin was 21 when his father gave him his last hiding.
No, 18.
Sorry, 18, same thing.
Yeah, you really made me
Now,
look bad.
the point is, when you're 18, you're
18 was bad enough. Eh?
when you're 18, you're an adult.
My friend laughed at me.
And his friends laughed at him, but, you know, we were talking
Not
about
something
this
I wanted
training
spoken
up a
about,
child. And your integrity
Yeah.
counts for everything.
Yeah.
And you know what, Kenny, I wanted to say this to you. Well, Gavin's going to read you the verse after this, but I want to say this to you. For someone who didn't have a father, you've done very well. And I'm very proud of you. I really can say that. Don't know where the applause is going. Hang on.
It's very weird.
It's my phone. It's
No,
an
no,
applause app on my phone.
I think there are people that are eavesdropping on this meeting, other side. Go away! All right.
I really can say that because you could have been permanently on drugs, on alcohol, and I know you had little.
You had all the
flips,
excuses.
but you are on track, I believe, and I could be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. I've been wrong plenty. But I believe you want to live your life for Christ and you want to do the right thing. You actually want to raise up a godly generation, whether it's with disciples or later on in your family. And you don't see that often. And, you know, I want to encourage you, just go out. Start with the guys in the church and, like, start saying to them, you don't need to do this. I've got the same background as you. And then, obviously, with so many guys are dying of pain because of abandonment of their father. They are literally dying. They act all cool. They act like party animals. They act like they're having fun, but they are dead and dying. And you can give them a testimony of how they don't have to die because they have a father. And Gavin's got a beautiful verse he'll read you.
Yeah, now, I want you to think of the church because obviously your father wasn't supposed to leave. That's just the reality. But the Bible says in Psalm 68, verse 5 and 6, it says that God is a father to the fatherless, a defender of the widows, is God in his holy dwelling. And then in verse 6 it says, God sets the lonely in families. He leads out the prisoners with singing, but the rebellious live in a sun-scorched land. Now, that's a picture of the church. And this was given in the Old Testament even before the church existed. That God will be a father to the fatherless. And now, I mean, it's not just, at least you got a father. How many guys do we know that do not even have a father? Their father, they maybe don't even know who he is or he's dead. But God is a father to the fatherless. And if you are ever lonely, he sets the lonely in families. And where are those families? It's in the church. But he also says, but the rebellious live in a sun-scorched land. Now, many people come along and they say, right, yeah, I don't want this church thing, church, you know, but at the end of the day, then they're going to be out there in a sun-scorched land. Now, sun-scorched means the sun is burning, everything's dying, there isn't much life, it's like a desert. Whereas you come into the house, there's nourishment, there's life, there's no loneliness. You know, if you really get into the church, you won't be alone at Christmas time, you won't be alone at Easter time, you won't be. You will have Christmas lunch in a family setting. You know, that's for anyone. And so that's what I want you to remember and what I want you to realize is that you've seen in your own life how God has done these incredible things for you. And you need to tell others. Because there's many guys out there in the schools and all over the place that don't have that don't know about that. But the Lord's given it to them through his Son, the Lord Jesus Christ, that died on the cross for them. And so you need to tell others and give them the same gift that your uncle gave you, that your brother then gave you, obviously that I gave you. You need to give others the same gift, because that is what family is all about. It's when you put yourself out for other people and you prepare to do stuff for them. The biggest challenge that you have with family today is that people are just into their own interests. So guys go, they make children all over the place, and then they leave that girl to sort the thing out, or they force her to have an abortion, or all sorts of things. And at the end of the day, if we want to change the nation, then we need to make sure that those kids that are being born now, first of all, get born, and that secondly, that they're born and they have a father who's in their life. And you know how it affected you. God restored you with your father, probably only because of what happened, in his church, but you can do that for others.
If I can maybe close, Kenny, and say this, I don't know if you were going to say something.
I was going to say thank you.
Before you say thank you.
Yeah, just hold that thought.
If I can say this, there are girls, so guys come in the church and God's got to do a restorative work. Often what happens is guys come into the church and they carry on their life just in a place that makes them feel better, but actually nothing's changed. As a result, there are no husbands for the girls, because when you marry a wounded man, he just repeats the mistake and often worse. And so for the men, it is such a big mantle of responsibility over your lives to disciple men that they can become godly husbands to the women in this nation and in the church. You're welcome.
Wow.
Say it again.
Pastor Gav, my last hiding was also 18. So
From who?
My brother.
From his brother. That was his last hiding when he was 18.
Yes. Together.
So I thought we had something in common.
And thanks a lot, Pastor Vix. That meant mountains to me. Thanks a lot, Pastor Gav.
Okay,
Proud
we got to
of you.
go. I'm taking you out on a date. Cheers. Let's go.
I'm making him stick to that.
Cheers, eh?
Thank you. Pastor Gav.